saving souls, rescuing businesses, saving jobs, saving our community. We're doing our final live show of 2020, so grab a chair, get through a pad and pencil, and get ready for some information to kick you off into 2021. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome back to the Marketing Pulpit TV show. Robert Gatewood, your host, and glad to see you on this beautiful Friday. We're wrapping up 2020. Can you believe that? 2020 is almost over. As a matter of fact, we're about exactly 2 weeks from January 1st of 2021. As a matter of fact, next Friday, is actually the celebration of the Christmas holiday. Of course, there are several other religious holidays in the month of December and this time of year, but many people in our audience celebrate the Christmas holiday. And so we're going to celebrate that with you. But today we're going to be talking about 2020 and 2021. How has 2020 been to you? And what are we going to do about this 2021 that's coming up? So we have a lot to talk about. Now, what I'm going to do also, I've dusted off back about 10 years ago when I started the show. I wrote what is called the 10 Commandments of Marketing. 10 Commandments of Marketing. Now, I'm going to give you that today as a gift going into 2021. And believe me, it is a gift because it has taken me 30 plus years to hone, to craft, to tighten up these commandments. And believe me, they are airtight. If you follow these commandments, you cannot go wrong when it comes to business. If you talk about marketing and growing that business. So I'm going to share that with you later in the show. Also, we're going to talk about some tips to take you into 2021. You don't want to miss that. I'm going to give you 20 bad habits I would like for you to leave in 2020 and don't carry into 2021. So you want to stay tuned for that. Also, we're going to talk about reasons to start a business. And of course, we're going to talk about some of the items that are happening in the news. But before we get to that, I have a story. Got a story I'd like to share with you. Bernie Max, got a story for you. I want to say hello to everybody tuning in on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter Live. I see brother Clyde Gatewood. Good morning, my brother. Clyde, what we call him, OG of the Gatewood clan. We are from a family of 10 boys, 4 girls. And Clyde has been a trailblazer. Good morning, Colette. Glad to see you this morning. And good morning, Brother Brown, the greatest plumber in the land. I have a story for you. Now this week, I had my customer skills tested by customers. I'm a pretty mild guy. I'm the easiest guy in the world to get along with, because that's part of my brand. See, got to get into this branding thing, because we're going to talk about that too. We talk about some of those 10 commandments of marketing. But anyway, so my skills were tested this week. I sent one of my customers my invoice, as I am wont to do. I mean, that's how you get paid technically. So I was very, let's put it this way, I was very sparing about what I charged for certain things, and somewhat plentiful or bountiful on others. Now, one of the things that I was very sparingly charging for was my consultation services, my strategy, my planning, my budgeting, my really kind of giving you guidance, because I understand many people don't understand that. But what I try to charge for that people can see, and I need to break this habit. This one of these habits I need to leave in 2020. So the client got the bill and he said, "I see your bill, thank you very much, but I didn't know you charged for meetings and phone calls." And I'm like, well, I am a consultant. I am a strategist. I am a business developer. He had no problem whatsoever with the web work, with the graphic design work, with the things that were what I would say anybody can do, basically. You can get a kid to do most of this stuff. But the part that separates my differentiator, what makes me the marketing strategist, he had a problem with. Now, he, of course, after I explained to him, he was fine. But it brought up a challenge I have when dealing with a certain part of the market. And that is why this show is so important. We have to constantly train, remind, educate people on the importance of strategy. There are so many people out here flying in the dark. They don't know what the heck they're doing. They read something on Facebook, their BFF told them something, they got an email, got a spam, one of these spammers call them from Pakistan, Iran, Korea, Russia, who knows wherever, and they buy into that. Next thing you know, they have this misinformation. And then when a professional like myself comes along, they somehow have devalued the what actual strategy and good advice looks like. So this is one thing I want you to take into 2021, the importance of strategy, dealing with people who understand the landscape. So this particular conversation has two heads. First of all, like I say, you do need strategy. You can't, for instance, you can't beat this pandemic by yourself. I'm just gonna tell you, you can't do it. If you are a typical small company, making less than $1 million a year, or even some of the bigger companies, you're going to have a difficult time beating this pandemic by yourself. But what I have to do is to bring some of the time-tested principles of marketing to the table. And we have helped many companies not only survive, but strive in this pandemic. And it's not just pat myself on the back. I'm just telling you in general, don't underestimate strategy. Big companies that call me, they understand it very well. It's like they can't get enough. It's like, I need more of your time, not less. Bill me. I know what you just told me probably saved me a few $1,000 or made me a few $1,000. So of course, send me a bill. That's the first thing. So small companies, let's get out of this mindset of following the shiny objects, of following things that you can only see. Yes, you can see the website, you see the social media posts, you see the logo, but what about the strategy that went behind it so that it follows those 10 commandments of marketing that I'm going to share with you later on? That was the first thing. Now here's the second thing that ties into this story. Another client contacts me, and this is not my day to beat up on clients because I really want to shout out some very good people. Another client contacts me, and of course, somebody sold them the shiny object. I don't know who this person was, but it was a law firm. They were convinced that they should move from my company to a different company. And believe me, folks, I'm not saying this to pat myself on the back or say that people shouldn't make their decisions in their best interest. But I'm telling you, you got to get the information that goes with it. So somebody comes along and says, look, we specialize in websites for law firms. And I'm saying to myself, look at that. There's really no such thing. There's like templates. But unless you're a lawyer, there is no special website for law firm. They'll change the graphics and some of the questions on it, but that's just that's marketing. And so what they decided to do was to move their website over to this company that they had never heard of. Like I say, they must have sent them an email or got a phone call. They're trying to save some money. And next thing you know, I put up no objection. I said, look, I was very kind, helped them to transition. Matter of fact, committed some of my time and one of my people to help them make it smooth as possible. Well, as the story would have it, about 2 weeks after the transition, they called me and said, please, can we come back? This company didn't know what they were doing. They don't understand. The attorney said one of his people had convinced him it was a good move. So I'm asking you, should I take them back? I really told them I couldn't deal with them in 2020. I just can't do it. Our plate is full from people who understand good marketing strategy and loyalty. And you can't just jump on the first thing that comes along, go around chasing these shiny objects. So that's one of the things I want to tell you people to leave into 2020. Don't jump at these there's so much, so many grifters and fast talking people out here on the internet. You just can't go jumping from one place to another. Yeah, some people are going to promise you a couple of bucks a month less than my service or some other service that you may be dealing with in your community. That's another story. This story has so many legs. But you have to so support your community. My company, like many companies like mine, we're not just in the community to make money. We're in the community to employ people. That's right. Right now, my company employs 5 people. These are people that can now they can do their holiday shopping. It's helping pay their rent. It's helping put food on the table. But these companies that you are jumping over and paying your money to because you have some internet, some email, or some spam, or something on Facebook, what are they contributing to your family and to your community? I wish I could hire everybody who needed a job. And by the way, if you know somebody who's looking for work, somebody who has a good skill in web development or digital marketing, have them call Gatewood Marketing. Matter of fact, I'll put my information on the screen. Yes, we are hiring. We're going into 2021 with a very heavy load. Some people have wanted to get their jobs finished in 2020. We may get most of them, but the ones that came late, you may have to get in line for 2021. So folks, let's do better. Let's support our community. I'm using myself as an example, but I'm sure many of you have experienced the same thing. People are too quick to jump on this stuff they see on the internet. They saw it on Facebook. They got an email. Somebody sent them an email and it just seemed like an offer that's too good to be true. Well, I decided, I told this client that I don't want to be vengeful. I'm not one of those folks that hold a grudge. I said that we can't deal with this in 20. And I really feel bad because their email is screwed up. And email, it is so complicated. You start moving email records, MX records and the A records, and that is stuff you don't. I'm telling you, if you have a company right now, and somebody tries to convince you to move your website and your hosting, ask them, "Are you going to screw up my email in this process?" And many times they cannot guarantee that. So anyway, folks, these are lessons learned for 2020, and so we all learn together. You're listening to the Marketing Pit TV show. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host. Go to marketingpulpit.com and you can follow the show live every week just by going to Marketing Pulpit. I know we're on these different platforms like Facebook and Twitter and YouTube, but if you ever get lost along the way, or if you want to share it with someone, just go to marketingpulpit.com. You can watch the show live right there on the homepage. And I see Attorney Bradley Thomas. Welcome to the show, Brother Thomas. And Brother Thomas, he's a good example. He gets a solicitation from somebody every week, trying to move his website, change his email, do something, this or that, the other. I'm telling you, folks, don't fall for it. Matter of fact, you don't have to do business with me. You can call me and say, look, I'm working with this other web company or this other marketing company, but I got an invite from somebody else. I'm not going to try to sell you. I'm going to ask you some questions. How long have you been with this company? Are they keeping you current? Are they doing follow-up? Are they providing good service? Ask yourself those questions, because everything that the lowest price is not always the best price. I'm telling you. So thanks again, Brother Thomas. And matter of fact, speaking of that, I wanted to do some shout outs this morning, because my company has had a good year, not because we have not like rolling money, but because we've helped quite a few companies. And matter of fact, Attorney Bradley Thomas is one of them. We just launched a company's website, Rules Fitness. Miss Marie James, she actually specializes in belly dancing as her way of keeping people fit. And she's been a client now for probably about 8, 9, almost 10 years. And she just contacted me this year, a few months ago, to redo her website. And we just launched her new website. Matter of fact, check her out at Rules Fitness, RULZ Fitness.com. That's Marie James out of Upper Marlboro, Maryland. She just moved into a new location over in Upper Marlboro. I mean, just a great client. Also, I just want to shout out some other folks who have placed their trust in Gatewood Marketing and the Marketing Pulpit in 2020. And so I'm just going to do a couple of shout outs. Taxes and all, the tax resolution specialist. That's Mr. Sean Smith. Of course, BLE Executive Suites, can't say enough about them. Miss Bernadette Clay, Langston, and Eddie. It's a mother and her two sons have the 3 locations here in the Washington, D.C. area. Of course, attorney Bradley Thomas, of course, he's been a client of mine for so years. We just go way back. They're talking about we support each other. Of course, attorney Camise Graves. She's an intellectual property attorney. She's been with me now for several years. Matter of fact, she and her mom is down in the Virgin Islands. She has a nonprofit. So I have a mother-daughter combination. Of course, Mr. Gerald Brown of Eternity Plumbing, working with him about to launch his new website and logo and branding. And here's a name that a lot of people know about, Joe Madison, the Black Eagle. He's been a client now for about almost 20 years. One of my first clients, he's on SiriusXM now, has about 5 million listens a week. We maintain his website and branding and his social media. We work with social media and his bookshelf. Matter of fact, we created his famous bookshelf. It was a brainchild of Gatewood Marketing and Joe Madison himself. Of course, B&B Cleaning Service, Mr. Rayford Brown. He's one of our more recent clients. I want to shout out to Neely Fuller Jr. Of the Racist Code. He's a very popular artist, has a website called Produce Justice. And man, he has really blown up in the last few years. We've been working with him. MRS Tax, Mr. Thurman Jerry and his family, Belinda, Yolanda, great family. They've been with us for many years. Audience, Candace Camille. We actually working with her on her new website and her new presence. Lenny Riggs and Associates. He's hiring people right now. They provide final expenses insurance. Kirksey Catering, here in the DC area. Dr. Jillian Berry, she's a therapist, and we're doing her online training, setting it up right now. Ed and Yvette Lewis, very interesting couple. Ed, he's in the automotive industry, and his wife, Yvette, she's actually the chairman of the Maryland Democratic Party. So she's been spiking football lately after a great victory back in November. Truckers International, Miss Reed, LaConya Reed, we're working with her on her branding. Brooks and Associates, a big CPA firm, did their logo, and we're putting their online training together and social media and so forth. Centurion International, a cleaning company here in the Washington, D.C. area. Mentee Brain Fitness, man, they're going to be doing some great things. Brain exercise coming in 2021. Visionary Media Productions, Mr. Dave. As a matter of fact, he was a sports announcer in the area. He went and started his own video company. We just launched his new website. That's Visionary Productions, visionarymediaproductions.net. Mr. Green Daly, has a clean company and moving company. He just came on, matter of fact, this week. Joy, Passionate Events Planning. It's a event planning company. We just about to do her new branding, website, marketing. Dr. Herring out of Washington, D.C. She just came on. Mr. James Gray, he's a business consultant. And Joy Josini she's a fashion designer. But my point is, all of these people have, and this is just a partial list. Some we've actually moved their projects into the latent stage. We finished them and they're like on automatic. These are people that have come in recently that we're actually actively working with. And my point is, we are here to help. One of the clients on this list, he contacted me earlier and he was, money was short. And this is the kind of service we are, because this is part of our brand. I said, look, man, I see where you are. It's more important for me right now to get you over the hurdle. We'll talk about the money later. I'm not going to do that for everybody, because some people they don't really require that type of assistance. But my point is, you at some point have to decide, one, as a business owner, what kind of company you're going to be, and as a client, somebody who's looking for service, what type of company you want to give your money to. I'm just saying. So anyway, I want to say shout out, and to any client that we missed, or anybody who's in the pipeline, or anybody who's working with other companies, but you're in our community, you're supporting each other, you're supporting the companies that support our community. I say shout out to you. And 2020, of course, has been a year of many challenges, but 2021 is going to be a year to remember for so many reasons. Now, we're going to do quickly. We're going to do a quick break. This is the Marketing Pulpit TV show. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host. And we are here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. We bring you the good marketing gospel. And we've been doing it now for we've been doing it now for over 10 years. Been 10 years doing this. And thanks to our sponsors who made this possible. Of course, we still have one foot over at Radio One. If you go to WOL 1450, we're still on the schedule over there, and we'll still contemplate going back over there in 2021. Great folks over at Radio One, of course, founded by Dr. Kathy Hughes, and the general sales manager over there, Miss Karen Jackson, and the program director, Mr. Ron Thompson. So we're looking forward to seeing them in 2021. And I want to thank them for helping us launch the Marketing Pulpit back in 2010. So hang on a second. We're going to do a quick break. We'll be right back after in a moment. This is the Marketing Pulpit. I am Robert Gatewood, your host.
Rayford Lee Brown Sr. I am the owner and founder of B&B Cleaning Services, LLC. We are a janitorial floor cleaning and property maintenance business.
And we're back. Man, a little bit of music. That's the 98.6 band. They're one of our sponsors. Doing great things out here. That's a great story. Go to np6.band. Find out more about that group. It's just an amazing story. Glad to have them as a sponsor. One of our other clients, Mr. Bradley Thomas, one of the founders and members of the band. And Mr. Willie Jolly, another very well-known figure in the area. He was also a member. And you just have to read that, get that story and get that CD. Very inspirational. Might be a good gift for somebody for 2021. I want to quickly talk about some of the items in the news, and thank you again for tuning in to the Marketing Pulpit TV and radio show. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host. Also want to shout out to my other co-hosts who have also been a pivotal part of our success. On the first Friday, we have Ms. Bernadette Clay, and she's the owner of BLE Executive Suites. Second Friday, we have the accountant Felicia. She brings financial advice and accounting. The third Friday, Miss Wena Cullins. She joins us on the third Friday of the month, and she was not able to make it this morning because of a previous obligation. And of course, the wellologist, Miss Candace Camille. Great people. Man, I'm telling you, if you want to succeed, surround yourself with good people. And I'll tell you, some of these sisters out here, boy, they are really making things go. This is a little quick hit from the brothers, but a little quick hint for the brothers out there. Not knocking brothers, boy, but if you want something to move and to be tight, man, get you some sisters involved. Tell you, boy, there's nothing like them. There's nothing like them. They'll have some special skills. I don't know where it came from, how it got into their genes, but boy, you want to see some things move off the ground. Get the sisters on your team. This is the Marketing Pulpit. You can go to marketingpulpit.com. If you also want to find out more about me and my company, go to gatewoodmarketing.com. I've been a business developer now for 25 plus years. I spent most of my early years in corporate America as marketing directors, vice presidents of marketing, business development. I've even been president of telegrocery supermarkets. So I've cut my teeth early on. But there was nothing like transitioning into my own business and being able to help people realize their own business aspirations. And that's where I have gotten my most pleasure. I've made a very good mark and had some good experience in corporate America. But there's nothing like, I'm telling you, when you go out here and start a business and you have you're doing something that you love to do, working with people you love to be around, contributing to the community and giving back. There is no substitute for it. And so to all of us owners out here, whether you're a client of mine or not, I say congratulations. And congratulations for surviving 2020. If you happen to have had some challenges, and I just said pivot, and let's go back at it again. Let's not throw in the towel. There's always a second chance, and this pandemic has given us a chance to push the reset button. Maybe in different times you may have been judged or the state of failure, but no, these are different times. So we're everybody is a little more forgiving, understanding, and you should be understanding and forgiving of yourself if you run into some difficulties during 2020. 2021 is another opportunity, and we're going to take advantage of it. Quickly in the news, let's hit a couple of news items. This is the Marketing Pulpit TV show. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host, and we're here every Friday, 10:30 a.m. By the way, this is our last live show of the year. So you definitely want to make sure you get this information today. And we'll be running reruns starting next week, and you can still get the information by going to Marketing Pulpit. I've had people to contact me this week. We were not on the air last week, and many people reached out to me and said, "Hey, where were you? I tried to get on the show, but I went to your website, and when I got there, I said, wait a minute. These are shows I hadn't seen." But go to Marketing Pulpit, and you can actually look through the archive of shows. And we have the subject matter in the title of the show. So if you're trying to look at, for instance, how to scale your business, you may see a show on that. You're looking at a show on social media trends, you may see a show on that. Certain guests you might want to follow up on, like the Cheyenne Webb, who was a lieutenant of John Lewis. You'll see that information right into the title of the show. And so you just scroll through the archives, it's right there on the homepage. And so because we're not on the air, that gives you an opportunity now to catch up on some of those past shows. And you can fast forward and pick out the points you want to look at. And so that's a good opportunity for you to catch up and get ready for 2021, particularly if you're a business owner. And of course, share this information with others, because there are people out who really cannot afford a guy like me or any type of business development service because of finances and just sometimes just need more information on how it works. So the Marketing Pulpit website is a resource for anybody who's contemplating starting a business. So please take advantage of it. It's free. There is no charge. I do this as a way of giving back to the community. I have my clients that pay the bills, but some people just need a little. As I was telling my students at the college, I'm also an adjunct professor at Prince George's Community College. Sometimes you don't have time to go back to school and get a degree or sit under somebody for 4 years trying to get all these loans. Sometimes you need somebody to just tell you, look, I need to know whether to do this and whether not to do that. I need to know whether I need to do more of this or less of that. And these are some of the things we like to share with you on the Marketing Pulpit. I'm not a know-it-all. I know marketing, though. I'm sorry. There may be other folks out here to do this, but I'm telling you, no, do it better. Let's jump into news for a minute. And the first news, of course, is a downer, but the poverty rate has jumped. Nearly 8 million people have fallen into poverty this summer. That's a sobering number. And of course, according to the federal guidelines, poverty is it's a family of four. If you're making less than $26,000 a year, then you're considered in the throes of poverty. And just imagine, 8 million people have fallen into that since this summer. That just tells you the reach of this pandemic. And the thing I say about the pandemic and its aftermaths and its effects is that, folks, let's stop making this a political issue. One thing I dread about 2020 is how we have turned on each other as citizens of this country. Of course, it started back with the most recent election, but it had just continued to exacerbate and get worse. And then this pandemic was like pouring fuel on the fire. We had a brief reprieve back when Brother George Floyd was killed, and people opened up their hearts. They had reduced some of the animosity. Companies were opening their hearts and their wallets. But then we got back into the political season, and it was gloves off all over again. So And this has done nothing to allay or alleviate this poverty. To beat this poverty and the challenges that we have as a country, we have to come together. And I know that's because of I know some people look, I want nothing to do with a Trump supporter. Trump supporters are saying, I want nothing to do with the Democrats or what they call socialists or whatever you want to call it. But I'm telling you, we're never going to climb out of this unless the country comes together and start working together. And then, of course, also continue to support your community. And we can alleviate some of this poverty by, like I say, people that have the means, let's help those that don't. If you can hire somebody, let's hire somebody. If you can give, let's give. If you have information to share, if you have a resource to share, it doesn't always have to be money. Let's help each other and help climb out of this poverty that has us in this grip. And we also know that as a community, our community is always hit the hardest when something bad comes along. I hate when that happens. We just got to get past this. I'm gonna tell you one of the reasons. Good segue for my next story. We tend to be a little more risk averse when it comes to new ideas, when it comes to things like starting a business, investing in certain things, and that has been a problem. That has caused problems in our community. I was looking at like Bitcoin hit back over $20,000 for Bitcoin, and it hadn't been that high since 2017. When it got hit by the bear market and went down. So Bitcoin now is on the rise, and also electric cars. They have hit a 52-week high in the stock market this week. They're up to like $667 a share, and that's after they split. The stock was split 5 ways back in the summer. So if that stock had not split, we would be talking about almost $4,000 a share, or a share of stock, a Tesla stock. Now, I'll tell you, this is my approach on that. Many people, particularly small companies, your business is suffering, and sometimes you don't have anything to share about. Then you got folks on the 1%ers, if they have money, they're watching the stock market go up and down. They're popping the champagne. They're carrying on like nothing going on in the world. Well, don't isolate yourself into a camp of people who are doing poorly or who have nothing to celebrate. It's not going to kill you to go out and grab yourself a stock. Yeah, I said it. You can own some of these companies. You can be an owner. When you buy a stock, you are an owner. I just got an email yesterday. I got $1.50 dividend on Home Depot stock. $1.50 is not going to put me in another income bracket. But my point is ownership. It's all about ownership. Yes, I'm an ownership of some Home Depot stock and some Tesla stock. I'm not a rich guy, but I made a commitment a few years ago that I'm not going to be one of these folks that sit on the sidelines and be angry at folks for getting rich. I'm going to say, shoot, I'm going to take a few risks myself. That's also one of the things I want to talk about when I talk about things to leave behind in 2020. Don't be overly risk averse. The more you gamble, the more you stand to win or lose. I'm going to replace the word gamble with invest. No investment is 100%, and heaven knows I am not a stockbroker. I don't advise on stock. So don't be calling me saying I told you to go out and waste your money. I'm saying don't be so risk averse when it comes to things like ownership, whether it's somebody else's stock or starting a business of your own. So the first thing I would say is invest in yourself. But if that's not working, or you don't have much reason to celebrate, invest in something that is working. When I started investing in the stock market, it was at my lowest point. Really, I was really low. I said, but I need something to cheer about. I need something that's going good in my life. So I went in, I downloaded this app called Robinhood. I was listening to a talk show. This young guy was on there talking about stock market. And I said, I've always wondered how to get into stock market. I just didn't understand it. Didn't know how to do it. I said, do I have to call a broker? Is it going to cost me money? Well, there's an app. It's a free app called Robinhood. As a matter of fact, it's on the marketingpulpit.com on the right side. You can get it for yourself. And I loaded on my phone, and then you have to put a couple of bucks from your bank account. They call it like your invest money to invest, and you scroll through the stocks and you see something you like or buy it. And I started with stocks that I knew. I said, well, I know Facebook. I'm on Facebook. I know Apple. I have an iPhone. So that's how I started buying stocks. Didn't go out crazy. Just bought one stock. I bought some cheap stocks like $3, $4 stocks like Radio One. And before I knew it, I had a portfolio. And in that short period of time, I have doubled my money in the stock market. Most of it due to Tesla. I just lucked up on that one. But I'm saying, if you're looking for a way to pull yourself out of the doldrums and just trying something different in 2021, grab a stock. It's not going to kill you. I mean, that's money. It's call it your beer money or your hair money, your clothes money you may have wasted. Instead of wasting that money, try something different in 2021. And then, of course, it's not an investment in these companies. It's an investment in you. Invest in yourself. And of course, it never hurts to start a business. If you don't have a business, you start one. You don't have to go out here and invest a lot of money. But there are a lot of tax benefits and write-offs to starting a company. Here's another story. Holiday shopping takes a hit. Black Friday didn't pan out as it would have, and I'm not surprised. People are worrying about paying their rent. They're worrying about COVID, so they're not out here doing a lot of shopping. Now, of course, I'm not one to say don't spend money, because if you don't spend money, then these businesses in our community are not going to do well. So I just say just spend the money on something that might give you a return. If you got to spend money, go buy yourself a stock for Christmas instead of buying that new pair of shoes. Nobody's going to see your feet right now, I'm telling you. Go and get a new pair of Stacey Adams or Bruno Mars right now during this pandemic. It's almost a waste. Nobody, I mean, for what you all know, I might not have on any shoes right now. As a matter of fact, I don't. But my point is, instead of taking that $100 and going and buying yourself a pair of Stacey Adams, go buy yourself add $25 to it and go buy yourself an Apple stock. How about that? Or instead of getting the newest version of iPhone, go buy some Apple stock. You're saying, what's ahead for the workforce in 21? Well, it's changing. The landscape has changed. It's not the same workplace we entered back in 2020. Some things have changed. Some things have stayed the same. Some have just kind of in between. Hiring has kind of fallen off. People aren't hiring like they were. A lot of these millennials, they're just going crazy. Boy, they're pulling their little hairs out. And I understand that. Many of them, in the little generation that just graduated from college, and man, I pray for them, because one day their social life is just in the pits, and the jobs, their social life, and it's just like most folks when we were younger, the social life and work life overlapped. That's where you met people. You went out after work, go to a drink, go to a club, go to a basketball game. All of that came to a screeching halt in 2020. And so I do encourage young people. I try to give them reason for hope and believe that there is going to be a better day, and it will. But I do understand the challenges. I think they have to find other outlets. They have to take advantage of some of these virtual workouts. They can do virtual meetings. I mean, you get tired of that eventually also, but do things that you can do. Go out, take walks, eat healthy, pick up a hobby, invest. So there are a lot of things you can do during this time that can keep your mind together and not get into a slump. One of the not so fortunate pieces of news is that women took a big hit during this pandemic. And a lot of the jobs that were affected women were disproportionately represented. And hopefully we can see that change around, and let the leaders, people who are making these decisions, acknowledge that and make adjustments accordingly. Big cities are not as popular as they used to be. People used to be clamoring to go to New York City and do this and do that. Well, those big cities have lost some of their luster because of the pandemic. And then there's jobs that are in demand in 2021. They're some of the same jobs, but they're fashioned differently. Things like safety managers, care coordinators, loan specialists, crisis counselors. Those jobs were around in 2020, but they're going to become increasingly important as we go into 2021. Um, Things like telemedicine, virtual instruction, teaching, healthcare. If you're in these industries, folks, you better turn up your technology knowledge. And this is two words I've been advising all my clients, and I will beat them over the head with this. If they're not listening, I go, I want you to repeat it back to me. Safety and virtual. It does not matter what industry you are in. Hear these two words. Make these two words part of your brand. You cannot go wrong. We are safe, and we have the technology to reach you through other means such as virtual. It has been a game changer for me. I'm able to see more clients, serve them better and faster and safer. Every industry can benefit from this. If you're a plumber, then you can do a virtual consultation. That first consultation can be done by Zoom or some other platform. You can say, look, walk around here, put the phone up against that pipe, and let me see what's going on. Normally that's a $65 charge. Well, now you might say, look, we'll do a virtual consultation now for $20 or something. But my point is, let's think like these big companies are doing. These big companies are making more money than they can catch during this pandemic because they've changed the way they think. They have these think tanks. And as I said earlier in the show, you're not going to beat this thing by yourself. Doesn't have to be me, but you're going to have to get some thought. You're going to put some brain power on this pandemic. Let's see what is going on in the news. What we're going to do, we're going to take another break. When I come back, what we're going to do, actually, we're going to talk about those 10 commandments of marketing. You really have to hear this because sometimes you need guidance. And of course, you know, we know 10 commandments from the Bible. And what we know about those commandments is that they're times they have survived and passed the test of time. And so these commandments on marketing, which I think fitting because this is the marketing pulpit, they also are timeless. I started using them back in 2010, and I've been over the last 10 years, I've been fine-tuning them. Well, I'm going to roll them out. I think in 2021, when I roll them out, I think I've covered everything that you need to know when it comes to marketing foundation. I put them into a Robert Gatewood's original, the 10 commandments of marketing. So whether you hire me, bless you. But if you don't, you still need to get this information. So I'm making it free to everybody. It's my gift to you for the holiday season and for going into 2020. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the 10 commandments of marketing. This is the Marketing Pulpit. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host. I'm here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. bringing you the good marketing gospel. Don't go anywhere because we are going to talk about those 10 commandments of marketing. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the break. All righty. Now, before I get into the 10 commandments of marketing, what I want to do is give you since this is the last live show of 2020, I want to give you some habits I want you to leave into 2020 and do not transfer into 2021. Pretty clear. Leave these habits into 2020 Do not bring them into 2021. This is Robert Gatewood's list. My first one, I've already touched on it. Stop being so daggone safe. We're in a pandemic. Take some risk. Okay? Take some risk. Buy stock. Start a business. Invest in advertising. Call Robert Gatewood. Probably the lowest risk you can take. I'll tell you, but my stuff works. Also, if you want to get an appointment for me, go to gatewoodmarketing.com. I'll give you a free 15-minute consultation. As a matter of fact, there's a little tab at the top that says Zoom consultation. There's a 15-minute one on there that you can get absolutely free. We'll hook up the Zoom, be just like we're talking right now, except it'll be just you and I. And you can you can let me know what you're trying to do for 2021. I'm not trying to, it's not a sales pitch. I'll take my sales hat off. Just, I want to do this for you. It's free. Okay. I'm not, I've done okay in 2020. So I don't need to make any more money in 2020. I'm going to spend the rest of this year trying to help people who need help. I think Neely Fuller, great author, says that's what the definition of justice is. Making sure the help goes to the folks that need it the most. So I'm going to adopt that principle the rest of the year. No, if I don't make another penny this year, I'm fine. At this point, my goal is to make sure that I can help as many people as possible as we go into 2021. Now, if you want to give me some money, if you owe me money, I'm not going to turn it down, but I'm just saying. That's my first one. Let's take some risk. Number 2, stop procrastinating. Get off the pot. Stop talking about it. Start. Nothing else I want to say about that. Stop procrastinating. Number 3, stop being a perfectionist. You're going to run into a problem with me as your marketing guy if you bring that attitude to the table. Folks, it's better to launch something, to launch an imperfect thing, than to never launch something perfect. Because if it's perfect and it never gets launched, and I'm not talking about launching crap, something that's going to hurt somebody or doesn't work, but take some of your personal idiosyncrasy. Oh, it's got to be a certain color, it's got to be a certain font, yeah, that's good. But do you have that kind of money to spend on something when people out there waiting for your service? You're wasting time. Stop being a perfectionist. Let's get this product on the marketplace and start making money. Number 4, stop trying to get everything for free. You got to pay for something. Everything free is, if the product is free, the service is you. If the service is free, the product is you. Okay, remember that. If the service is free, you are the product, because they're using your eyeballs, your person as leverage to get at the products. So just because it's free, they have a goal, ultimate objective, you, except me. Stop trying to do everything yourself. You're going to have to delegate. You have to pay somebody. You may have to pay somebody. And when you have good people around you, let them do what they do. I know you like to think you know everything, you're the best at it. Things like marketing, accounting, legal, we know those things, but also some of the routine jobs. A lot of these young people have some amazing skills. Let's put them to work. Stop being that person nobody wants to be around. I know COVID has kind of brought out the worst in some of us, but don't be that person, overly critical, negative. Don't be that person in 2021. Make people want to be around. Number 7, stop spending money on foolishness, please. I've told you, after being in the chewed up and spit out by the capitalist system, it's hard to break some of these habits. People still out buying big cars and spending money on clothes and stuff. And nobody sees that stuff now. They don't care. I'm telling you, this is foolishness. Spend your money on something that's going to make you some more money. Christmas is next week. Some of y'all out here in the malls now, running here on the line of Amazon.com, spending money on foolishness. Yes, you can spend money, but if you got to spend money on somebody, buy them something that make that iPhone better. Give them a charger or something that make that, do something that's going to help them be successful in their business. Anybody who asks me what they want for Christmas, they already know the routine. All right, I know it's something you want for your office, right? Yes. My whole office is is furnished by Christmas and birthday gifts. I mean, really, that's the way I survive. And it's boring. And people, oh man, I want to give you something. Nah, don't do it. Don't waste your money on me. I'm not going to appreciate it. I'm telling you. Stop spending money on foolishness. Of course, stop being mean and disrespectful. That's obvious. Stop smoking. Stop over drinking. Stop doing this unhealthy stuff. I know the pandemic makes you want to turn the bottle up, smoke. Don't do it. Stop. You got to come out of this. I want to see you in 2021. I love you, folks. I want you to go into 2021 with some good habits. And starting to smoking and drinking because things are tough, that's not the answer. I'm telling you. Drink water, exercise, take the stairs, go out, walk. In the DC area, people go down to the Tanger, over there we have that walking trail, up and down that hill. And some people go out to the park at Haynes Point. Go out, get some air, exercise, drink water. Candy Camille will fill you in on that. She'll tell you. She's done several shows on it. Now this is not as deep. This is just something you might take into 2021. Communicate with people the way they want to be communicated. Don't be texting folks that would rather be called, particularly if it's somebody you're trying to get something from, like a client or money. If they want you to call them, call them. If they want you to text them, text them. Just saying, these little things can make a difference, especially when you're trying to get money and clients. Stop bragging, showing off. Okay, there's a thin line between sometimes branding and showing off. You in your heart know the difference. Okay, but trying to be something you're not, being boastful. It's okay to put your best foot forward, but when you bragging and showing off all the time, people are not going to want to be around you because you're making them uncomfortable, and it kind of points out their inadequacies or some of the hardships that they may be facing. So it's okay to show your expertise and to admit that things have done okay, but let's not be boastful about it. Let's have an objective when we do it. If we're going to talk about ourselves, stop being late. That's not cute. It's not cute. Every Zoom call I go in, there's somebody they fooling around with the daggone computer for the first 15 minutes. Do that before. You know the meeting at 2:00. Don't wait until 2:00 to start pushing the button to join the meeting. You got to test your microphone. You got to test your camera. Sometimes you get the Zoom link is not right. It's not cute, folks. Test these things in advance. Okay? Stop being late. And stop putting all your personal business online. I'm telling you, folks, these are things, just Robert's list of things you can do in the 2021 to make your life easier and better. You don't have to put everything on Facebook or Twitter and Instagram. I'm so tired of these folks. God, maybe it's my age showing. I downloaded TikTok for the first time. And my goodness. Does everybody have to shake everything? Oh my God. Oh God, folks, we got to do better. Let's use these platforms for good. We ain't got to shake everything and show our grills and our cars and our prowess in certain areas. Folks, let's leave a little bit to the imagination, please, please, please. Don't put everything on Facebook. That's not going to help you with that job you're trying to get. It's going to hurt you with your clients. Now, Facebook is a platform. Don't let it use you. And when you put everything out there in a negative way, especially if you're trying to get a job, you got these clients out here, everybody look you up. I'm telling you, so somebody's going to look me up today when they leave this show. Who is this guy? Well, I'm telling you, when you go to Robert Gatewood's page, you're not going to find a lot of personal. Every now and then, it might show my family, might show me hugging mom or something like that. I'm not going to tell you when I was at Denny's, and I'm not going to be in there shaking something, showing a couple of hairs on my chest. I'm trying to use this platform to make me some money. I'm just telling you, to build some relationships, to be positive, to help the world. So you got to use it. Just use it for the right reason. Don't respond to everything that people do or say about you. Let some things pass. Some people are going to say some negative things about you. They're going to post something. You're going to hear something. You don't have to respond to everything. Okay? I'm just saying as we go into 2021. Don't devalue people's time. People's time is precious now. So don't be trying to save your time or your money by devaluing somebody else's time. Like somebody said, hey, come back from the airport. Well, yeah, that seems like a nice thing to do, but all they need is $10 to give Uber. You said no, you're a $150 an hour person, and somebody's gonna want you to drive up to the airport to pick them up. You're gonna take it 2 hours. Now that's $300 that they could have used the $10 Uber for. You know what I do when people do that to me? I pay for the Uber to go get them. If it's a money issue, if it's a time issue, I understand. Maybe you don't have the money, but it's not worth my time to go up there and drive around that circle in front of the Union Station for 30, 40 minutes, waiting for your train is late, when it could have taken, all you had to spend was $15 on the Uber once you got there. That's devaluing other people's time to save you time or money. If you need money, I'll help. I'll pay for your Uber, but don't expect me to waste my time because you're trying to save a couple of points to save your own time. They're saying stop giving people advice in areas where you have no expertise. This is one of those areas of showing off again. People like to think they go out here and read one article on YouTube or Google, and now they become an expert. That has gotten a lot of folks hurt. I'm telling you, don't be that person. Don't be that person. If you're the expert, go ahead and put up a single, start billing. If you want to give them money or give them a break, good. But don't become that know-it-all person who just read something on Facebook and now you're an expert at it. Stop it. Let's see. Here's another one that's not that serious, but I want you to do it anyway. On your cell phone, the next time you do a video or Zoom or whatever, take a tissue and wipe the lens. Folks, you'll be amazed. This may be the best advice I've given you all day. And if you're doing a selfie, wipe the front. You see that haze, that glow around you? That's dirt and grease and fog. Wipe it off, and that camera is going to make a world of difference. I've had people went out and bought new cameras because they said, Robert, what camera do you have? I want that one because mine is the film isn't clear. All you need is a tissue. I got a box of tissue over here. I'm willing to share with you. Wipe it. You'll be amazed. Then, let's see. And that's my last one, of course. I've already touched on it. Stop believing everything you see on Facebook and online. I know some people think Facebook is the Bible. They think that's God himself sitting up there behind that computer. It's not. Facebook makes mistakes just like everybody else. And it's not really fake, more so than the people on it. They see something on Facebook and they say that's Facebook's hand. Well, it's somebody behind that. Not Facebook. I'm not defending Facebook, but you have to protect yourself. People are going to say anything that they can say to get over and get your money, or to hurt somebody or malign somebody or get you to see their point of view. Do your own research. Facebook can be one source. You get bombarded with videos all day. Some of it's funny. Some of it's misinformation. Some of it's just outright propaganda. But just because you saw it on Facebook does not make it real. Same thing with Twitter. Same thing with Instagram. Same thing with TikTok. Same thing with LinkedIn. Anyway, folks, that's my habits. Now, before the last break, I'm going to come back. I'm going to run a little long today, maybe just another 5-10 minutes, because this is my last live show of 2020. When I come back, I'm going to give you I had a drum roll, my 10 commandments of marketing. It's my gift to you for 2020, going into 2021. Happy holiday, okay? It's my gift to you. You don't want to miss it, and you want to share this. This could be a gift, your gift to someone else. So hang on a second. Let me get this last break out the way. When I come back, we're going to talk about 10 commandments of marketing. This is the Marketing Pulpit. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host. I want to thank all my sponsors like Mr. Ray Brown of B&B Cleaning. He does commercial cleaning, real estate cleaning, construction cleaning. He does some residential. His main thing is residential, I'm sorry, commercial cleaning. Can't say enough about BLE Executive Suites, Miss Bernadette Clay. They have their 3 locations, one in National Harbor, one over in College Park, and one here in Largo, Maryland, where we're broadcasting from as we speak. You need a new business address going into 2020. Think about this. Do you need folks coming into your house, especially now with COVID and everything else? Are you tired of folks popping up at your address, these strangers knocking on your door because they found address, business address online and it was your house? Well, BLE has a special offer right now. They will give you the first month free, but for only $55 a month, you can have yourself an official business address. And don't tell them I told you this though, but you can actually use all 3 of the addresses. Make you look like $1 million company. How good is it going to be to say this company is located in National Harbor? Man, I'd wear that out, I'm telling you. Or in this hub zone. Some of you folks who are trying to get government contracts, you can't get a contract if you don't have some of these services that BLE offers. So you need to call them and find out more about how they can take your business to that next level in 2021, particularly if you're trying to do government contracting. If you're tired of strangers showing up at your door because you have your business address as your home address, and in some cases you can't get that certain contract because you have to have a business location. So they also have affordable suites and phone services. I get a lot of people asking me about phone services. I said call BLE. You can call them too at 301-322-1700, or go to BLEsuites.com and tell them that Robert Gatewood said. Just tell them Gatewood said. And I know they're going to get me when they say it, but because they always do. But come on, Bernadette and Langston and Eddie. It's the spirit season. Tell them whatever service you want, whether it's a suite, a mailbox service, business address, phone answering service. You tell them Gatewood said give you the first month free. And if they don't give it to you, I'll pay for it for you. Okay? BLEsuites.com or go to 301-322-1700. Of course, they're going to give it to you. Marketing Pulpit will be right back after the break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back in a minute. Thank you for joining us today. This is the Marketing Pulpit TV show. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host. I'm here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. It's the last show of 2020. And this gives you a chance also to catch up on the best shows. Go to marketingpulpit.com. Just flip through the titles and you'll see something you like, I guarantee you. Oh my goodness, I've always wondered how that worked. Well, we have it on there, whether it's social media, whether it's business plans, whether it's scaling a business, whether it's funding for a business, all the things you need for marketing, we've covered it in a show. And we also bring in special guests for the areas where I might fall down. Let's talk about these 10 commandments of marketing. You want to hear this because these are timeless, and I've been working on them over the years. I got them right. Sometimes you get lost along the way when you're trying to do marketing. You say, look, I don't want to go back to school and take a course. I need something that I can refer to. So when I get lost, I can look back at this list and say, oh, that's right. One of the commandments says I should do this in this situation. Okay, so I'm not going to cover every situation you may encounter, but I can tell you this. You can apply one of these rules, one of these commandments to just about anything you encounter in the field of marketing. The first one, number one, on the 10 commandments of marketing is commit to a reputation that aligns with your purpose. You have to decide early in the game what kind of company you're going to be. Are you going to be a professional company? Are you going to be cutting edge tech? Are you going to be chummy and friendly? Are you going to be giving, loving? You're going to be erudite. You're going to be dot I's, cross T's kind of company. You have to decide, are you going to be eco-friendly? You have to decide early in the game what type of company you're going to be, what type of reputation you plan to have, and align your purpose with that. That is the beginning of a successful business. When your purpose is aligned with the type of company you plan to be. That's number one. Number two, I want you to identify a societal problem. You may have to think about this one because many people just start a business because it's something they like to do, they fun, something they're good at doing. That might not be the right precursor to starting that business. I want you to look at society and its many needs, and its many wants, and its problems, and you find one and you solve it. You have the answer to that problem. That is the beginning of a successful business. We're in the midst of this pandemic. I've already told you, safety, technology, virtual. Use that and solve some problems. That's number two. Number three, how do you understand what the problems are? Find out who needs that service, who has that problem, who has that need and that want, who's the most impacted. You see the problem? Now, who has the problem? Determine who that group is. Are they men? Are they women? Are they black? Are they white? Are they young? Are they old? Are they in a certain part of the country? Demographics, geographics, psychographics. Find out who those people are. And that's your target audience. Now, you know what the problem was. You know what the problem is. You know who has it. Now, let's find some products and services that handle those problems, that solve those problems, meet those needs, satisfy those wants. It's simple, folks. But you will not find a flaw in anything I'm saying. This is time tested. Anybody I work with in the many years I've been in business, they're benefiting from this as we speak. Now that you know who you're going at, you know the problems, you got a service for them. Now you have to be able to distribute that product in the times and the places and how they can receive it. You need a walk-in store, a sit-down restaurant. You need something more virtual or mobile. Do you need something that can be home delivered? How are you going to get that product to the marketplace? And it has to be in the mode that's preferred by your target audience. If your target audience is senior citizens, then of course, delivery is a given. If your target audience are millennials or young people, virtual is a given. Okay? Now, you've established that. So that's the part of marketing that I was talking about earlier that some people don't like to pay for. They want to pay for the shiny part you can see. But that first part, you've done all of this and you haven't collected $1 yet. It's probably some of the most important parts of what you would do in putting together a marketing, advertising, and business development campaign. We haven't raked in $1 yet, and we're already halfway through the list. That's why when you get that bill sometimes from a consultant, they've already thought this thing through for you. Now you have to create a message that demonstrates your ability to address the needs of the audience. We call that messaging. You know what the problem is. You know who needs it. You have a service. Now you got to write a message that convinces people to let people know that you have this. You say, I got this. Your message has to relay that, has to convey that. Now you develop your message, and you do your message through feature benefit selling, overcoming objections, things like that. You have your message. Now you have to deliver that message. That's number 7. You have to deliver it, but you have to deliver it through the preferred medium of the target audience. 80-year-old folks living on TikTok, they're looking at the senior beacon. 18-year-olds, they're not reading newspapers. They're on Instagram. So you have to deliver that message where your audience lives, the places that they frequent. These things seem some people. That's why they're commandments. You should be doing these every time you start a business and you're about to do some marketing. You should be doing everything I'm telling you right now. That's why these are commandments. And if you're not doing them, you're missing out. Now, you have to reinforce, this is number 8, you have to reinforce the need for your service by highlighting the benefits. That old benefit, that question that everybody must be able to answer. What's in it for me? That's what that client is going to be asking you. Why should I buy this? What's the benefit to me? How is it going to help me? How is it going to make my life easier? That has to be part of every marketing strategy, every sales effort, every advertising campaign. Reinforce, highlight what those benefits are. If you're not doing it, you're missing out. I don't care how great your service is, how long you've been doing it. If you're not reinforcing benefits, you're missing out. Number 9, this is one of those secret sauces of marketing. You have to develop relationships with individuals and organizations that have a stake in your success. We call those stakeholders. You cannot do this alone. Your stakeholders, who are they? First of all, your clients, obviously, but you can't overlook the other stakeholders: vendors, suppliers, partners, funders, contractors, employees, the community, government agencies. These are all stakeholders. You have to build a relationship with these institutions and persons in order to be successful in marketing. That, I'm telling you, folks, that has been a game changer for me. Stakeholder relationships. It is a foundational, fundamental of marketing. And the last one, before I let you go. It sounds cliche, but it's just as important today as it was the first time it was uttered. You have to exceed expectations. With exception of communications and service. You notice I threw communications in here. Some people say, look, as long as I'm giving you good service, that should be enough. No. You have to exceed expectations with communication and service. Folks, let me tell you something. In 2020, I hired a person whose sole job was to communicate with the clients, the potential clients and the existing clients and the one who've moved on. Because that is going to be a deciding factor. People are going to decide whether or not to do business with you in 2020, depending on how well you communicate with them. Because business success is built upon retention and lifetime value. That's one of those pivotal metrics that separates the successful companies from the unsuccessful ones. The people that come back, repeat business. That's what this last one is about, really. About repeat business. If you're doing one-offs, you're going to fail. Point blank, full stop. If your business model is built on one-off sales, you are building a business that will fail probably within the first 3 months. Your business model has to be built upon repeat business. That's why number 10 is so important. You have to exceed those expectations, get people telling other people about it, and you have to be able to communicate with people, reaching out to them and let them know that you're concerned about them. You have their interests at heart. You're concerned about their problems, their needs, and their wants. And you can't just do it only when you're trying to make money. You have to do it all the time, as long as that person is one of your clients and stakeholders. Folks, that's going to wrap up the Marketing Fit TV show today. I want to thank you for a very interesting and challenging 2020. Now, we'll be back on the air back in 2021, but you can also, as I stated earlier, check out shows, go to marketingpulpit.com and make this show a gift to somebody who is struggling in 2020, trying to make decisions about going into 2021. I tell you folks, if they haven't heard those commandments, they need to hear them. It could be the difference between success and failure. Thank you again for all my sponsors, for all my co-hosts. Thank you, the listener. You've been great for the past 10 years. We're starting a new decade next week. 2021 is upon us. Take to heart. Take some of this advice. I'm giving you plenty to chew on today. But when you do it, this is what I'm gonna tell you my last little secret today. It's been a part of my business model. It may not work for everybody, but it has been golden for me. Don't make it about the money. Make it about service. Make it about making the world a better place. The money will come. I guarantee you. Thank you again, Linda, my classmate from Livingstone College. She said, thanks for the advice. Take this advice and go forward into 2021. I love you all. Thank you for making the marketing pulpit and Gatewood marketing a success this year. Look forward to seeing you in 2021. I wish you a very safe, happy, and prosperous holiday. Be safe as you get together during this holiday season. Wear your mask, do your social distancing, protect yourself, don't let your guards down, and let's go into 2021 with a new sense of vigor, positivity, determination, and helping other people along the way. And as I've always said for the past 10 years, if you want to be successful, you have to do these three things. Do the right thing, do it at the right time. You got to do it right. Enough talk. Let's get to work.
Rayford Lee Brown Sr. I am the owner and founder of B&B Cleaning Services, LLC. We are a janitorial floor cleaning and property maintenance business.